Hello friends and welcome to Fire Emblem Discussion. Today we're going to do a basic guide of the different stats, what they do, what they mean, and how we can increase them and affect them in our gameplay. So we're going to be looking at basic stats, weapon stats, and also the stats of battalions and combat arts. So let's get started. So we'll use Dimitri as an example. And again, I've gone over this in a previous video and you might already know this, but if you hover over a character, even an enemy character, you press X, and this window will pop up and you can see all their information. And then you can switch with the ZL or ZR buttons between inventory, combat arts, and battalions right there. But for now we're going to focus on this screen. If you press X, you can then move over to this side and look at their crest and their level and different stuff and what it means. HP is pretty self-explanatory. It's how much damage you can take. Move, again, how many spaces you can move. And then we have attack, hit, crit, avoid, evade, evade, attack speed, protection, resilience, which are all affected by these stats. So we're going to go over these first and kind of go over them in tandem with these and try to make some sense of this for you if you're having some problems with it. So first we have strength, which is, again, pretty easy to understand. It affects how much physical damage you can do with weapons like javelins, lances, spears, swords, axes, bows, gauntlets. Those weapons are all affected by your strength stat unless they say specifically in their weapon description they're a magic attack. Magic affects the opposite. It affects your magic abilities such as and your magic attack. So it affects white magic, black magic, and dark magic, all three of them, and how effective they are, whether you're healing or you are trying to deal damage to an enemy with them. And those will both be reflected in your attack stat, which is your strength or magic depending on which you have equipped at the time, plus whatever you have equipped, the might of that. So for Dimitri here, he has 30 strength, plus 3 might from his javelin plus, but also plus 7, which we have, and plus 5, which we have listed here, from Lance Fair, which is a skill, and Gautier Knights, which is his battalion, which he has equipped. So that's basically what goes into your attack there. Oh, whoops. Okay. Now, looking at dexterity, it affects hit rates and crit rates. So your hit rate is right here. And the way you find your hit rate is you take your dexterity, add it to the weapons hit, which is 80 right here. So we have 80 plus 20 is 100. And then add any other bonuses that you have from skills or your battalions and what else. So here he has 100 from his dexterity and his weapon, and then 12 from Lance Prowess level 4, which you learned by ranking up your Lance ability. Moving on to speed. It says it affects avoidance, but it also affects how many times you can attack in combat, and also preventing your enemy from attacking you multiple times in combat. So it says it affects avoidance, which it does. It does. But the thing is, you need to understand attack speed before you can understand how it affects your avoidance. So speed is your attack speed. Attack speed is your speed minus your weapon's weight. Minus your weapon's weight, minus 30, minus your strength, minus your character's strength divided by 5, which is a whole lot more difficult than it used to be. But here it is. So for example, we see that Dimitri has an attack speed or AS of 15. So we take his speed of 17 and say, okay, so we have 17 speed, but now we need to figure out how much to subtract from it. We say, okay, so this weapon has 8 weight. We take his strength, divide that by 5, which is 6. So we have 8 minus 6. That gives us 2, which we then subtract that from the speed. So 17 minus 2 is 15 attack speed. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, right? And no, it's not really straightforward at all. It's actually a little more convoluted than it needs to be, I think. I think they could have found a better way, but that's just me. Now we look at his avoid, which takes the attack speed plus any avoidance you get from your battalions or your skills. Okay, moving on to luck, which affects... Oh, actually, I forgot. Dexterity also affects crits. I forgot to talk about that. So you take your dexterity and luck, divide... So the equation ends up being dexterity plus luck divided by 2, plus any bonuses from battalions or your weapon for your crit. So here it's just 20 plus 12, which is 36. Not 36, 32 divided by 2, which is 16. And then he doesn't get any bonuses from his battalion or his weapon at this point. So it is just 16. And also, luck also affects the chance of you being crit. So if an enemy has 16 crit, like Dimitri here, and they attack Dimitri with his 12 luck, they will have a 4% chance of critting you. So it is a direct correlation. It's just 16 minus 12, and that's your chance of being crit. Again, it's 16 on an enemy attacking you, and then your luck is 12. Not on the same character. Okay, so defense affects your protection stat. The more protection you have, the less damage you'll receive from physical attacks. To find that, you just take your defense and add any bonuses from, battalions, such as here with the Gautier Knights, and also from any other items like shields, rings, anything else you have going on that will add to your protection. And it will show up here as a blue number when you press X on it. And the same goes for resistance. Exact same as protection except with magic. And resistance affects resilience, which again is like protection except for magic. So it's just you take your base value here of resistance and add any bonuses you have from battalions and items that you have equipped. Finally, we have Charm, which raises Gambit's might, hit rate, and avoidance, but it also allows you to recruit units and also allows you to unlock the Dancer class later in the game. Okay, moving on. That was kind of a lot going on here. There's a lot of information here, but the more you look at it, the more you will realize that it's pretty easy to digest. They make it really easy here with these basic stats here that just kind of add everything up for you. Okay, now let's take a look at weapon stats more in depth. We have MT, which stands for might, and again, you take your might added to strength to get your attack power. Hit, we already talked about that as well. The weight, which is WT. Range, or RNG, affects how far you can attack. Generally, range of weapons is what affects your attack, how far away you can attack from, either up close or far away or whatever else. But there are some skills that can affect that as well. Okay, moving on. We have combat arts. And here we see that they can add different stat bonuses, and if they add something, they'll tell you to your base values of attack, hit, crit, avoid, and all that. So Monster Piercer, for example, would add 7 might to the attack of 45 that Dimitri already has, add 10 avoid, which is 47 avoid, add 0 hit, and it can only be done at 1 range, and it also tells you that it is effective against monsters. And finally, we'll move on to battalions. Here we have the Gautier Knights, who are max level 5. And here just, again, self-explanatory stuff. So it adds physical attack, and you can see that it adds to the attack stat of Dimitri at all times. And then plus 20 avoid, plus 5 protection. This all just factors into the already put together numbers over here. They don't affect these stats, except for Charm. You'll see it affect Charm. But it affects these already put together battle stats that factor in everything. And then we have the battalion's assigned gambit. So this one is a bad example of an attack gambit. This is a support gambit in Stride. But if we go look at Leone, who has the Church of Syros soldiers at this point, they have Disturbance, which has a might of 4 and a hit of 60. And I personally don't really understand how charisma factors into how much damage these do and how it affects hit rates and stuff like that. But just know that the higher your charisma, the better your gambits will go. And as well, having like other characters near the enemy to do a gambit boost. And lastly, we see that the battalions have endurance. Once their endurance hits 0, which here you see Leone has 20 out of 30 endurance for her Church of Syros soldiers. Once you hit 0, you'll lose the bonuses of your battalion. So that was kind of a lot that I just went through right there. But don't worry, the more you look at it, the more you do with it, the more it'll start to make sense. And honestly, you don't really need to worry about these ones all that much, okay? These 8, they increase with level ups, and that's fine. And you'll see them increase, and these being high is good. High numbers are good numbers in this case, right? But these numbers that factor everything in and do some calculation for you are the stats that the game uses for battles and stuff. These are the important ones that you need to pay attention to and try to increase by either using different items, different battalions, and also just increasing these stats with level ups and item boosters as well, and also using skills like Swordfare and other things as well. But I think that's going to do it for me today, guys. If you have any more questions about this, post them in the comments. I'll try to get to them if I can. but I'm sure other people will be able to answer them for you in the comments as well. That's kind of the point of Fire Emblem discussion. I started discussion, and we all have it in the comments together. I haven't said that in a while now. We have kind of a lot of new people here. So I started this conversation. Let's continue it in the comments. Help each other if we have questions. Be respectful and realize that this is a guide for beginners. So if you are brand new, do not be afraid to post something. And if you aren't brand new, be nice to those who post questions. Just answer them respectfully and be kind to them, because again, they've never played this game, unlike you who maybe have played every game in the series or something. So let's be nice and respectful to people that way. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Fire Emblem discussion as always. And again, I'm really grateful. We're almost to 1,000. I can't say thank you enough. It's so awesome. But let's keep pushing it there. Let's get there. Make sure to subscribe. Be one of those cool people that can say you were here before 1,000 subscribers. If you're not already subscribed. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.